welcome to QTube, Channel 8's very own weekly LGBT programme. Now, on tonight's show, we'll be joined by quite literally the oldest gay in the village, and we'll be taking a closer look at the brilliant new film Pride. First up, though, he's become an icon not only in Brighton, but around the UK. The undoubted highlight of the Brighton Pride Parade, and a blimmin' nice chap to boot. It's George Montague, or as we know him, it's the oldest gay in the village.
George Montague, best known as the oldest gay man in the village, is a remarkable man. Aged 91, he recently wrote to the Prime Minister thanking him for the introduction of same-sex marriage.
Hello, George. Nice to meet you. So I heard that you recently got a letter from the Prime Minister. What was that for?
I had great admiration for him because against enormous opposition from everybody, his own party included, he pushed it through, and as a result, what I'm so pleased about in my long life, having lived in the closet for 40 years, where you daren't let anybody have the slightest inclination that you're gay, nowadays I would think 80% of people, excluding some teenagers and excluding old age pensioners, are very gay friendly. And that's as a direct result of what the Prime Minister's done.
So, George, you wrote a book called The Oldest Gay in the Village. What is it about?
When my mother died, who she never ever knew I was gay, I couldn't bring myself to tell her. She wouldn't, like most old age pensioners, she wouldn't have understood. She just wanted me to get married and present it with grandchildren, which was what I did. After that, I started to think I'm a bit of a coward. You know, all this time, the things were getting much easier. I thought I'd put it all down in a book. And I started 25 years ago. For a long, long time, like many, many men of my age, very, very reluctant and terrified to come out. Therefore, instead of coming out, I came out writing it down.
So you were talking about that you had plans to open up a retirement home.
Well, when I think most people, once they get to 70 and 80, they think, well, one of these days, my wife or my partner is not going to be able to cope with me. I'm going to be a nuisance and a difficult to handle. There's all the shopping and cooking and cleaning, a lot of cleaning. Therefore, you start thinking about, eventually you're going to have to go into a home. And I intend to live another 10 or 15 years at least. I keep myself fit, so I'm going to live to 100. If you go into an old people's home, you have to go back into a closet. You can't go around telling all these lovely old ladies, oh, I'm gay. Or my boyfriend comes to see me and we go to bed. You can't do that. So we need to have what I maintain a gay-friendly. I don't want a completely gay home with everyone in there is gay. Nothing is better in this life to me to find totally understanding and accepting heterosexuals, male or female, who accept homosexuality. A care home, hotel style, in every comfort that you get in a hotel, but it's also a care home, where you are looked after, you are fed, you don't have to do anything. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much, George.
My pleasure.
I'm exhausted just watching him in that gym. It's more than I've done recently. George, thank you for joining us. I was going to ask you how you've got so much energy, and then I see Sunshine there, and I think probably together, you're probably like a powerhouse couple working out at the gym. How do you get up in the morning and do sit-ups? Because if I do a sit-up, I think I'll give myself a hernia.
I'm the luckiest, happiest old gay man in the world. I didn't have the brain power to pass my aircrew tests. What am I going to do now? I had to hand back all my flying kit, everything beautiful. I hated that. So I was keen on sport. I became a physical training instructor. When you do that for 5 years, you get into the habit, you do it for the rest of your life.
And sometimes do you do it together? Does he push you to work out? Is he the one that's getting you up to do your sit-ups in the morning?
I think I assist him. Helping him.
Okay. And how did you both meet? Because it was quite a nice story.
I think most people, when they get to a certain age, they stop going to gay bars because they can't meet anybody that they fancy, usually about 30 years younger than themselves. But the Quebec in London is the place to go.
Right, okay.
There, it is a very old age pensioners friendly gay bar, which all the bars in London aren't. But there, however old you are, even 90, you are extremely welcome, and you'll find people there half your age that think you're
Nice. I'm going to remember that, actually. I'm going to remember that. Now, the oldest gay in the village, your title, it's unchallenged. Who first gave you that title? Has it been around for a while?
Well, it was that horrible. I didn't like it all that much. There were too many bodily fluids everywhere. But I did like some of it. It was most people read it. And he kept saying, I'm the only gay in the village.
Right.
Oh, you silly queen. I'm the oldest gay in the village. And it's been an unprecedented success.
So are we talking Little Britain, the kind of the sketch
right.
there?
That's
okay,
right.
but we won't catch you wearing anything like old Daffyd does, the skin tight all-in-one. Not on your lifetime anyway.
No.
And we've read in your book and we've seen from some of the stories you've told, the changes that have happened across your lifetime in terms of LGBT rights in this country are massive. Did you ever dream, kind of when you were younger and growing up and dealing with it all, that we would ever get to where we are today? Because quite a lot of progress has been made in the last 2 years particularly, hasn't it?
He's much maligned, but I must mention Tony Blair. He started it. When I first met Somchai, he brought in same-sex partnership. And that helped an enormous amount. It was an enormous fill-up to me. And then when David, my friend David...
First name basis.
I thought, David, you're crazy. What are you doing that for? We've got civil partnership. What do we want any more for? Don't inflict any more aggravation on everybody else. But he was right. He was right. I couldn't believe it when it went through with flying colours in both the House of Lords and the Commons.
That's brilliant.
Wonderful.
And speaking of marriage, what's the situation with you two? Are we...
We have civil partnership.
Okay.
And I keep hinting I
Dropping
would
the hint.
like to do it in a big... We got married in a very, very simple way because we did it for, I suppose, monetary reasons, really, the civil partnership, because it makes a lot of difference to inheritance tax.
Of course, yeah.
So it was we only had 2 witnesses and it was all very quiet. But now I would like
You want to do
the
it?
whole
You want the big party?
the biggest.
Guys, stay around. We're going to go through some LGBT news now. So whilst in the UK we celebrate the progress of LGBT rights, it's not the same elsewhere. A conference of anti-gay groups in Moscow has called for lobbyists to attempt to introduce gay propaganda laws across the world. The event was attended by several US-based groups, particularly including Catholic Family and Human Rights Institute, the Christian Broadcasting Network, and Family Watch International, although it's unclear at this point as to whether or not they signed the resolution. We've heard all about Moscow and the situation in Russia and these anti-gay propaganda laws. It's almost strange that in the UK we've made such progress and yet certain other countries around the world seem to be going backwards. Have you kind of been abroad or experienced this in other countries? Because obviously you've seen it all in the UK.
Well, all I can say is read my book. We want non-gay people to read it in all these countries.
It's a good plug for the book, George.
It's
See what you did there. You should do more of this telly stuff, haven't you? Sometimes, obviously, you're probably well-travelled, am I right?
Well,
Don't be modest.
I'm not living here with George 18 years now. Yes, I live in Norway. It's my study over there. I think a lot of country in Asia, Indonesia, even Singapore, still not accepted gay enough. Right. I think all of those. I think a lot of work to be done over there.
Okay, interesting contrast. Now, in other news, I don't know how you guys are on Facebook, but Facebook have been in trouble again with the LGBT community. This time, it's for cracking down on the use of stage names on their site, and they've been locking people out until they change their name. Basically, the social media site's requiring people to use their legal, real identities in order to keep an account with them. Now, this is a problem that many LGBT performers are using, particularly drag acts and kind of stage shows, because not everyone wants to be trackable on Facebook, I suppose. There's this privacy thing, isn't there? What's your experience on Facebook? Are you on Facebook?
I believe in as much publicity as possible.
Okay. So, but you're not particularly tech-savvy, are you? Somchai, you're the typer in the relationship.
I'm behind it for George, because I think for those technology and social media, I think it's because George 91 to do all of that. Facebook, yes, it's actually real name George Montague, and then Twitter is George Montague as well, and
right, okay.
So And it's very good to keep up with the fan or friend and family, in fact, to see what happenings around.
Well, because he's got fans everywhere, particularly because you go to other prides all around the country, don't you?
We went to the Manchester as one of the VIP guests, very kind of them, and we made a lot more friends over there, which is feel very good. It's our first time over there. A lot of them still keep in touch with us through the Facebook and some Twitter as well.
Well, you should probably be renamed the most popular gay in the village as well, George. I suddenly feel like I need some more friends. Guys, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on. Now, coming up after the break, we're going to be taking a closer look at the brilliant new film release prize. And also our very own Torsten's going to be joining us to tell us a little bit more about what's going on both in Brighton and around the UK. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
I'll ask him. He's the house whisperer. Yes. Yes, I am.
Can you ask our house what insurance would make it happy?
Of course. Easy, big fella.
For the cover your home deserves, visit Go Compare.
What do you do to reveal your underarms? Just shave. Every time you shave, it can cause irritation. That's why Dove deodorants contain 1/4 moisturizing cream, proven to help skin recover after shaving. So to reveal beautiful underarms, just use Dove. Effective protection, beautiful results.